I'm Nick DeFerris. I'm here at the Sackets Harbor State Historic Battlefield Site in Sackets Harbor, New York, the location of one of the first battles in the War of 1812. Indeed, the first battle fought here was one of the most legendary and storied in the entire war's history. We're here, in this small rural community in northern New York, our new nation faced off against the most powerful empire on earth, and won. It's estimated that in 1812, up to 25% of the U.S. Navy was made up of black men, and one of them, Julius Terry, had a front row seat to one of the most incredible victories in American history.
Julius Terry, we know, was here in the community before the War of 1812 because that's documented in one of the county histories. And according to the history, Julius Terry was serving in some manner on the ocean, possibly in the South Pacific. Julius Terry was here as the War of 1812 began. And in July of 1812, Elijah Camp had a volunteer militia artillery, and they defended the village on July 19th when the Canadian Provincial Marine came to attack the village. He helped to man the cannon at that initial battle.
And it was a cannon much like this one right here that was mounted on shore and fired upon the British fleet that won the day. Men like Julius Terry and his compatriots would have seen all too well the dangerous task of loading and firing a mammoth like this. The Americans were so pleased with their victory at that first Battle of Sackets Harbor that the story of the British defeat was told and retold so many times that it passed into legend. But one thing is known for certain. Julius Terry was indeed one of those responsible for that astonishing American victory.
Well, there's a great deal of legend about that first Battle of Sackets Harbor. One that the Americans, of course, didn't have cannonballs to fit the cannon, so supposedly the women donated their petticoats, tore them up into pieces of fabric. Also carpeting, torn up, wrapped the cannonball so it would fit in the cannon to fire it back. And of course what the accuracy of that would have been would be in great question. And then what did it do if it did hit the vessel? There's many stories about, carnage and death and the masts falling down.
I'm here on the shores of Lake Ontario, and it was here, on the morning of July 19, 1812, that a fleet of British ships sailed down from Canada to attack Sackets Harbor, which was then the headquarters of the U.S. Army and Navy's northern frontier. Julius Terry was part of the American defense that morning, and according to one fanciful story, a 32-pound cannon mounted on shore delivered a single shot that split the mast of the British flagship in half, sending the fleet home in ruins. For Julius Terry, it would have been quite the morning.
Julius Terry, after that first initial contact, did join the U.S. Navy for the summer of 1812. And he was on board the vessel called the Julia, which sailed down the St. Lawrence River as part of a military operation. We don't believe he continued in the Navy, but he stayed in Sackets Harbor. He received pensions after the war. He and his family lived on a farm in the town of Hounsfield. We know where it was located, and he died in the 1850s.
Julius Terry remained a celebrated figure even after his death. He was written about and remembered as late as the 1890s, and today he is a reminder to us all that our American history is marvelous in its diversity and wonderful for it.